So it's been 2 weeks since our trip to Thailand, and we wanted to go to a place that wasn't too far away, that wasn't too touristy. So we thought that Tunis, being just an hour and a half away on a plane with no layovers, would be a good choice. So basically, we just chose this nice resort. We have one hotel only for all 7 nights. So it's gonna be a pretty chill vacation.
So yesterday we just spent the entire day there. We woke up, had breakfast at the buffet, and then we went and played tennis because they have a tennis court that you can play at for free, and we brought our own rackets and stuff. So today we did an excursion up to Tunis, so it's about an hour north from where we are, and we had a private tour all day. We started off at the amphitheater of Carthage, which was really cool. We got to see this little dorm where they kept the lions, and then the one where they kept the prisoners, and they would release the lions and prisoners at the same time where they would fight. So that was really crazy and cool to see. And then after that, we headed to the Cathedral of Carthage and the museum. It was beautiful. There were a stunning viewpoint where you could see Tunis and the cathedral, and there were some ruins that you could walk around in. It was probably one of the most scenic places we were all day. The next place we went to was Tern Tantanin, and these were old bathhouses, and there was like this city that was almost underground that we got to walk through from 150 AD, and it was probably the coolest thing. We got to climb up on these rocks. We got to see the entire layout of this town, and you could just walk through it. I mean, a lot of places where it's touristy, you're not going to get to do those kinds of things, and I think that that's something we really appreciated about visiting all these places today, is that there just weren't that many other tourists around, so that was really cool. The fourth spot, which is also still part of the city of Carthage, was the amphitheater. This was huge, and it was really cool because they still use it today. So now there's a little bit of modern technology there, and they still have concerts and stuff there. The last place that we went to, which we were pleasantly surprised, was the Roman Villa, and it was just like a village built up on a mountain with a bunch of different ruins that we could walk through. There was this beautiful view of a mosque at the top of the hill. The mosque is newer, but it's stunning.
Our next stop after Carthage was Sidi Bou Said. And this city, they call it the Santorini of Tunis. It's also very similar to Chefchaouen in Morocco. And essentially, it's all blue and white, small city with a bunch of small streets and a few viewpoints. It's next to the ocean, so you get beautiful views there.
And then our last stop was the Old Medina in Tunis. So this was really cool. It had really similar vibes to the Medinas that we saw in Marrakesh and Fez in Morocco. There's a lot of different things that you could buy or just look around at. And then there was a mosque in the middle that we walked to. Then this local led us to this little viewpoint, which was beautiful, on top of a government building with the ceramics, and you could see the entire Medina from really high up. And this guy was so nice. He did want to take us back to his shop and show us stuff, but he wasn't pushy at all, and he was very nice, which is a very different experience than what we had in Morocco. But yeah, it was really cool to walk around and a great place to shop.
On Sunday, I found a nice 5 or 6 mile trail in the Jebel mountain. That was a pretty interesting hike. At the beginning, it didn't really look like a very defined trail. It was also very cloudy, raining a little bit, so it was creepy, very ominous out there. We almost turned around.
He says he looked up a trail, but it wasn't really a trail. It was like one guy that mapped out this hike on all trails, and that's what we followed.
So luckily we did decide to continue with the hike, and it got much better. It got a little better weather towards the middle.
It was a really interesting hike because we were alone the entire time. The only person we saw was a shepherd and his flock of sheep and a couple dogs off in the distance. Other than that, we were completely alone and not really on trails, but it was really cool. There's some scenic points where you got to see Hammamet from the distance, which was really nice, and it was overall a pretty easy, nice hike. So then after the hike, we took a 5-minute taxi to the Medina of Hammamet, which is right on the coast by the marina. We walked along the outer wall, which was beautiful, and then walked into the Medina. And then we went to the fort, which was really cool. It was an 8 dirham entrance fee, so just like $2 or $3. And you get to walk around on the outer wall and see the city from above, which was really pretty. And then we just took a taxi back to our hotel and chilled.
On Monday, our first stop was the city of Kairouan, about an hour and a half drive from Hammamet, where we are staying. And we saw the oldest mosque of Africa. It was pretty impressive, it was pretty big, well preserved. We paid 12 dinar each.
And we went and saw the water basins after that, which was kind of cool, just like a big reservoir of water that they used in ancient times. And then our next stop was to Al Jem to see the Colosseum. So that was about an hour and a half away from the other city, and it was awesome. So I've seen the Colosseum in Rome, and this one is a little bit smaller, but it's way more intact because it was made of stone and wasn't ransacked. So it is so impressive, and what's the coolest thing about it is that you can walk all around it. You can go under to see where, whatever gladiators were held there. You can walk up and down the stands, up and into the walls. You can go everywhere around it, and there were maybe 10 other tourists there. It was incredible. After we explored that for about an hour, we went and had lunch, just right in front of the Colosseum with great views. It was lovely. After that, we did our last stop, which was a museum, and that was also included in the Colosseum ticket, which again is a 12 dinar ticket, which is about $4 US. And the museum, it's mostly just a lot of mosaics from some ruins. It was cool, but we probably only spent 20 minutes there before we took the hour and a half car ride back to Hammamet, and now we're playing tennis.